Do you remember how exciting it was to watch Storage Wars? People bid on empty storage units in the hopes of finding a secret prize. The show gave us some stars we will never forget, from unexpected finds to unforgettable personalities. But where are they now? Where are the faces that used to make us laugh, cringe, and gasp in shock? We look at the stars of Storage Wars and find out what they've been up to since the show ended in this movie. Some of them are doing crazy things today. People like Dave Hester's annoying yup catchphrase that could be heard in sale rooms. Hester was the clear villain of Storage Wars. Other bids knew they were in for a fight as soon as that trademark yell went off. Hester's hostile attitude and apparently endless cash flow made him the perfect bad guy. People either loved to hate him or hated him completely. With his all-black outfits and scary attitude, he quickly became recognizable and stood out from his co-stars. The bad guy seemed bad, but he was really a smart businessman who knew a lot about storage auctions because he had his own thrift store before the show started shooting. Hester changed careers and started his own auctioneering and advising business after being fired from AAND for saying that the show was supposedly planned from the start. This was the end of his time as a TV star, and he could now focus on his business efforts without the attention that used to define him. Hester's case against AAND made news in the world of reality TV because he said that producers hid valuable items in storage units to make the drama more interesting and rigged the bidding process to make better TV. Even though the lawsuit was finally dropped, it changed the way people think about how real the show and others like it are. The father of two is living a quieter life in Alaska with his family now that he is semi-retired. In 2018, he had an ischemic stroke that was caused by high blood pressure and sleep apnea. This was a big change in his life after leaving TV. Even though he lived, the health scare meant that he had to go through a lot of treatment to learn how to do simple things again. This gave him a new outlook on life after the storage bidding wars. Friends and family gathered around Hester while he was getting better, showing a side of support that was rarely seen when he played a mean character on TV. In every season of Storage Wars, Dan and Laura Dodson were the dynamic team who ran the auctions and kept the bids going at a very fast rate. Dan's lightning-fast pattern and Laura's sharp eye for buyers made the perfect auctioneering team that could sell dozens of items in one afternoon without stopping. People watching at home and watching on TV were both drawn in by their contagious energy and real excitement about the sale process. Even the most ordinary storage units seemed exciting. The couple's story of meeting at an auction and going on to build a love and business relationship gave the show a real feel that viewers connected with. Their decades of experience as auctioneers made American Auctioneers a well-known and respected business in Southern California long before they became famous on TV. This real-life believability gave the show a sense of realism that set it apart from other reality shows where experts were hired instead of being found. The Dodsons' knowledge of auction law, facility rules, and bidder psychology gave watchers real private information that taught them while entertaining them. The way they interacted on TV wasn't just for show, they were still close in real life too. Their love for the auction business grows as they run their business, American Auctioneers, which holds public sales all over California where people come to try to win big with old treasures that have been forgotten. The couple has grown their business to include estate sales, business liquidations, and charity events in addition to storage auctions. This shows how versatile and dedicated they are to their job as auctioneers. Their social media accounts show that they are still very much in love and enjoy working together. They share sale tips and behind-the-scenes looks at their busy schedule of events across the state. People love Daryl Sheets's bold go big or go home approach to storage sales. Unlike some of his rivals who were more careful, Sheets never hesitated to spend a lot of money on units that looked like they could be good. He was sure of himself and knew a lot about collectibles, antiques, and reselling markets because he was ready to bid thousands of dollars on a unit that other people passed on. Because he didn't care what other people thought, people called him the gambler. Sheets brought decades of experience to the show because he started working in storage auctions in the 1970s, long before TV cameras made the business into entertainment. The most famous thing Daryl ever found was a collection of original art by Frank Gutierrez that was worth more than $300,000. It is still one of the best things anyone on the show has ever found. This amazing haul proved that he was right to bid aggressively and cemented his image as someone who could see value where others saw trash. In addition to being good at bidding, Daryl's honest and down-to-earth attitude made him familiar to viewers. Many of them put themselves in his shoes and imagined themselves looking for wealth among abandoned items. His relationship with Brandon as a father-son added another layer of interest to his story because it showed how he was teaching the next generation of treasure hunters what he knew. Sheets has been focusing on a personal change that is just as important to him as his biggest sale wins in recent years. He has lost a lot of weight and has used his fame to encourage people who are having health problems. After losing some weight, Daryl became very interested in sharing his health story with his fans. He started posting workout plans and food suggestions on social media. In 2019, he had a heart attack that needed surgery, which made his road to better health even more important. Thankfully, he got better after this scary health scare, and he has made a few cameos on the show in later seasons. Barry Weiss, who fans playfully call the Collector, quickly won over Storage Wars fans with his strange attitude and unusual ways of bidding. People loved how Weiss added a dramatic element to the buying process by showing up to bids in fancy old cars and wearing strange accessories like custom binoculars and strange toys. While most of his rivals were only interested in making money, Weiss went to each auction with the mindset of a collector looking for one-of-a-kind things that fit his wide range of tastes. His real joy over finding odd things, no matter how much they were worth, showed a genuine love for collecting that went beyond the normal buyer's desire to make money. Barry had a different point of view than his co-stars because he was a famous director who was already rich before he joined the show. Since he wasn't depending on sale income to make a living, he could bid on units just for the fun of it and not because he had to. Because he could look for things based on their own appeal rather than their possible resale value, his parts were always interesting because viewers never knew what strange item would catch his eye next. His friendly demeanor and playful jabs at other bids made him the show's lovable, eccentric uncle. He added fun and heart to what could have been mean battles. Weiss said goodbye to Storage Wars in 2015 after 4 seasons of fun for viewers. His time on TV wasn't over yet, though. Many fans were sad when he left the main show because they loved the way he played the storage auction game in a way that no one else did. Barry's charm and fan base are still strong enough to get him into new TV projects, unlike some reality TV stars who become less well known after leaving their shows. Barry's success won him his own show after he left the main show. It was called Buried Treasure, and it followed him across the country as he looked for rare items. The show had only 8 episodes, but they showed how much Weiss really loved finding strange things and how he had ties all over the collecting world. The style of the show let fans see Barry in his element, looking for treasure in places other than storage units like private collections, barns in the middle of nowhere, and estate sales. He later came back to TV with Barry's Treasure Hunt, returned to TV with Storage Wars Barry Strikes Back, in which he and fellow cast member Kenny Crossley talked about famous moments from the original show and shared stories from behind the scenes that gave fans more information about how the show was made. Weiss's plans took a big turn for the worse in 2019 when he lost his motorbike and was seriously hurt. Multiple broken bones and internal injuries caused by the crash meant that the victims had to spend a lot of time in the hospital and in therapy. After he fully recovered, he found a new job as the spokeswoman for Sherwood Valley Casino. Later, he added voiceover work for other Northern California casinos, showing that his unique personality is useful in more places than just storage sales. Brandy Patton and Jared Schultz were once the most famous pair on Storage Wars. They were known for always fighting and buying without fear. They were first seen on the show as the Young Guns in the early seasons. They brought young energy and relationship drama to the auction scene. When Brandy's realistic business sense and Jared's impulsive behavior clashed, it made for exciting drama that viewers couldn't get enough of. Brandy and Jared were presented as working-class underdogs compared to some of their wealthier rivals. They were on a tight budget and had to fight for every dollar of profit, which made it so much fun to watch them succeed. They met while working at a carpet cleaning company before starting their thrift shop, which made their story more interesting. They sometimes stood for the American dream of starting a business from scratch. The couple was relatable because they had problems every day balancing work, family, and money, problems that many watchers knew all too well. Over the course of the seasons, their on-screen personalities changed. Brandy became more confident as a bidder, and her good eye for valuable things often made her stand out more than Jared. One of the most interesting character stories on the show was how she went from being Jared's unwilling partner to a strong auction rival in her own right. Because of how famous the pair was on Storage Wars, they got their own show called Brandy and Jared Married to the Job. The 8-episode AAND show showed how hard it was for them to balance their busy family life with their successful auction business. The show followed their home life with their 2 kids and showed how they balanced being parents with running their own store and keeping up with their Storage Wars responsibilities. The spin-off went into more detail about how they ran their store, showing how hard they worked to sort, price, and sell the things they bought at sales. Even though it didn't last long, the show helped their brand go beyond auctions and showed off their business skills in more depth. Even though Brandy and Jared's reality TV days may be over, they have both kept doing what they love, finding sale finds. The couple did break up personally in 2018 though, and went their different ways. Brandy accused Jared of not being there for her as a father, which made the breakup even worse, and TMZ cameras caught fights between the two. Some disturbing events happened that made their once entertaining relationship seem less fun to watch. They showed viewers darker sides of their relationship that had been hidden. The exact details of how they broke up are still a secret, but Brandy's 2021 free tattoos seem to represent her emotional release from what had become a tough relationship. After they broke up, Brandy has kept up a strong social media presence, interacting with fans while keeping some parts of her personal life private. Jared, on the other hand, has kept a smaller profile and stayed out of the public eye. Renee and Casey Neota came on the scene of Storage Wars during the 4th season. They quickly won over fans with their enthusiastic approach to deal shopping and Renee's clear German accent. Some of their co-stars quit when the show took a break after season 12, but the Neotas were eager to come back when shooting started again, showing how dedicated they are to both the storage auction game and their TV jobs. Every episode shows how much they love treasure hunts, which makes them relatable to viewers who are also excited to find secret gems among old things people have forgotten about. What really makes the Neotas stand out from other Storage Wars grads is how well they have dealt with the digital world. A lot of reality TV stars have trouble staying relevant after their 15 minutes of fame, but Renee and Casey have done a great job with their YouTube program. They went from being popular on TV to being great on the internet, as shown by their 191,000 subscribers and movies that get millions of views every week. Their channel gives fans a closer look at their sale adventures than what's shown on TV, which helps them connect with their viewers on a deeper level. They have done a smart business move that has helped them do well without the show while still being on season 15 of Storage Wars. This shows that their business skills are more than just bidding on storage units. Once a recurring cast member on Storage Wars, Ivy Calvin, who was known as the King of Palmdale, brought a unique history to the show. In season 5, he was moved to the main cast. He was a professional football player and a mixed martial arts fighter in the past, which gave him the right mix of competitive spirit and physical intimidation. This helped him do well in the tough world of storage sales. As he stood tall among the other buyers, Ivy's commanding appearance and straightforward approach to business made him an instant fan favorite. Viewers liked how he bidded honestly and had a good eye for units that would make them money.
After getting better at auctioneering on national TV, Ivy used what he had learned to open Grandma's Attic, a cute thrift store in Palmdale, California that specializes in old valuable items. The building isn't open every day anymore, but Ivy has wisely switched to online sales and sometimes opening on the weekends. He has done this by adapting his business model to changing consumer shopping habits and retail trends. Even though Ivy has been very successful in the world of storage auctions, he has kept close family bonds throughout his journey. He is still happily married to Wendy and raises their two kids, Isaiah and Ivy Jr., away from the attention of Hollywood. He juggles family and work, which is an example of the work-life balance that many reality stars deal with. Fans were thrilled to see him return for season 15, bringing his trademark energy and auction skills back to their screens. Brandon Sheets, also known as Side Bet, is the son of Storage Wars star Daryl the Gambler Sheets. He appeared with his father on the show for 8 seasons, making them one of the most famous father-son pairs in reality TV history. Brandon showed potential as a second-generation treasure hunter as he learned the auction business from his successful father. He had a growing eye for valuable things and knew how to bid in a way that made his dad successful. His family ties showed how skills and information about storage auctions were being passed down through the generations. This made the Sheets family plot on the show even more interesting. Brandon's time on Storage Wars ended quickly in 2016 when the show's producers allegedly chose to cut down on the cast, which led to his leaving the show. Sheets and his friends didn't take the news lying down. They made and then deleted a mean social media post about AAND that said, "Funny how AETV fired me for lack of budget, but they still have their people follow me on social media and want me to do free stuff." This public criticism made it seem like Brandon didn't want to be on reality TV like his father did and was ready to go his own way away from both the show and the auction business. Following his departure from Storage Wars, Brandon made big changes in his life by moving to Arizona and starting a totally new job as a real estate agent. He also reached a personal milestone when he got married. He began a new life, one that was very different from the storage boxes and TV cameras that shaped his early adult. As of August 2018, Justin Bryant was the youngest buyer to ever fight on the popular AAND show Storage Wars. He joined the group at the age of 22 and made history. Unlike many reality TV stars who get their big break by accident, Justin's appearance on the show was the realization of a long held that began when he watched the early seasons of Storage Wars. The young businessman was so interested in the idea of a storage sale that he decided to give it a try. He quickly realized that he had a natural talent for finding valuable items and turning forgotten items into profitable finds. He became very successful in the business at a very young age, which helped him reach financial goals that most people don't reach until much later in life. For example, he was able to help his mother buy a house and give his older brother a job. What really sets Justin apart from the other actors on Storage Wars is how brave he is when going up against sale pros twice his age. Even though he's young, he goes into every sale with unshakable confidence and a take-no-prisoners attitude, announcing with confidence that if there's a unit he wants, it will be his no matter who bids against him. This confidence was on full display during Justin's famous first match against Renee Nyota. He didn't think twice about pushing Renee's buttons and getting under her skin, even though Renee was more experienced. His smart use of psychological warfare at bids shows that he is older than he seems and that he really understands how people think when they are buying against each other. Justin's youth adds a new energy to the storage sale scene as a member of a younger generation joining a business that is usually run by his success serves as an example for young entrepreneurs watching the show today. Emily Wares got her start as an auctioneer when she finished auction school at the incredibly young age of 17. This was the start of an amazing career that would eventually lead her to Storage Wars. 10 years later, she is still making waves not only because she is one of the few women working in this mostly male field, but also because she is one of the youngest workers in the field. Her quick-fire calling style and sure of herself attitude break down ideas about who should work in auctions and have inspired a new generation of women to become auctioneers. Emily stayed close to her roots in Solon, Iowa, where she grew up by running an auction business with her father. Her father had been a bid caller all his life and taught his daughter everything he knew. This created a touching family legacy in a field where partnerships like this are uncommon. Emily made a big splash right away when she got to Los Angeles for Storage Wars. Her unique Midwestern accent threw off many of the regular buyers right away, making her stand out. Emily didn't give up when people tried to question her authority. She did so with amazing calmness, calling out experienced bidders like Daryl and Renee for trying to peek inside boxes and going head-to-head with scary competitors like Ivy when he tried to get her to start bidding at a lower price. People began to admire her right away because she refused to be scared in a place full of aggressive guys. Emily is a great addition to Storage Wars because she is young, skilled, and has unshakable confidence. She shows that sometimes the most powerful person in a room isn't the biggest or most experienced, but the one who knows their worth and won't give in. Are you excited to find out what your favorite Storage Wars stars do next? And don't forget to subscribe to get the newest episodes.